Hello and welcome back to another game of Town of Salem, just Town of Salem 1. In this game I rolled Transporter, as I like to call it, Teleporter. My favorite new Town of Salem roll. And I used some interesting strats. It's a really fun strat, and I'm going to fully explain it, but it'll take a while to see exactly what occurs, so make sure you stick around, like and subscribe. Watch all of the video. It's actually pretty educational, so if you want to figure out some interesting things you can do in ranked when it comes out on Town of Salem 2, if you're still playing on Town of Salem 1, this is probably a good video for that. Anyways, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's jump into the video. Alright, so in this game I rolled Transporter, and I immediately do my day 1 bait, as per normal, the normal thing I do. There's a couple of jailer claims, which is interesting. I decided to completely ignore that and immediately transport 2 people who said nothing night 1. 10 and 11. Write that down in my will. I also start a fake sheriff will. Now, this fake sheriff will, I say that 11 is suspicious. My goal here is actually to push 10 because 11 is going to claim transported and so is 10, so 10's the person who's going to be the person who is targeted with suspicion. And obviously I'm confirmed, so I can do this and then say, no, I'm fake, I'm transporter later. Anyways, I say 11 claim. 11 claims roll blocked. They don't even claim transported. And then they claim invest, and I say roll blocked, but what? Expecting them to say transported. They don't. Eventually, 6 decides to also say that 11 looks like consig, and I completely agree with 6 here. I wasn't expecting to get any support, so I wasn't going to push it, because right now I look like X, and I look less like X if I don't push it. So, I say I'm down to vote up 11, and a couple other things happened during that day. I ask 10 for their will as lookout, but 11 immediately gets voted, and they do get voted relatively quickly, which isn't a great thing. Oftentimes that's a sign that they're actually town. Anyways, 11's response to getting voted is, don't know how I'm getting voted up, I was roadblocked and claimed invest. Apparently that means I'm consig. That sounds really evil, and that's something that you can't really explain all that well. There are certain ways that people talk on the stand that just make them seem more evil. I say that this is evil, this is consig, we need to guilty. And 6 also pushes this with me. 3 is defending it, and here I immediately become very suspicious of 3, because 3 is randomly defending someone who is pointed out as suspicious by a sheriff. It's possible they're town, very possible, but I do get a little suspicious of them. This is possibly the most important moment in the game. We get a bunch of votes, everyone guilties, other than 3 and 9. Those are your 2 NOs. 4, 5, 2, and 10 all abstain. So, obviously I say that 3 and 9 are very suspicious, because NOs on that are liable to be mafia. But other than that, abstentions on a contentious vote are also liable to be mafia, especially when that vote is mafia. Obviously that's not so much the case when it's town, because mafia really wants to guilty town. But because I was able to push them up, and they seemed evil on the stand, if they seemed NO on the stand, I would have pushed them down, and we could have read votes differently. But now, we have a bunch of suspicion. 4, 5, 2, 10, 3, and 9. And I put those all down in my will. My fake sheriff will, which is actually in my notes. I decide to transport myself in 9, because I'm already confirmed as not really hypnotist, because 10 and 11 were transported. Actually, I kind of look like hypnotist because of that, but that's fine, we're going to ignore it. And yeah, I go with myself and 9 tonight, because I think 9's evil. So now I go ahead and look through chat. Yeah, I want to look at what the abstentions and what the NOs said. I take 4 off of here because I remember, oh yeah, 4's just jailer, and also 4 died, so a couple reasons to take 4 off of that. And I take a look at 2. 2 has said absolutely nothing, 2 abstained. I'm going to push them over someone else. So I put in my fake sheriff will that 2 came up suspicious, and I immediately post that for the day. And 10 figures out that 2 is consort because 2 hasn't said anything and visited the person who is roadblocked, being 3. Really helpful information. There's no guarantee that they're consort, but it's quite likely. So we go through this whole day, and it's pretty clear that we're just going to vote up 2. It says, 10, what do you mean? Are you lookout? And we know that 10 is lookout. A lot of the mafia actually accused 10 of cheating in the dead chat. I looked at the report later because I got reported for cheating in this game. Not sure why. Like, they're just doing lookout things and finding lookout information. Anyways, 10 posts the will. We end up voting up 2, obviously, because they're clear evil. They haven't really spoken, and they came up suspicious, according to me, and I'm, very obviously a real sheriff. And there was some nice information I could get out of this. I actually looked back at the votes on 2, and out of that, I kind of get that 10 is likely not evil. Everyone guilties, don't get any information out of that vote. This night, I decide that I'm going to do the same thing I did the night before, and that is transport myself with 9, just because I think 9 is likely evil, and this keeps me out of mafia attacking me, assuming that 9 is evil. I write same in my will because I'm a little rushed for time, and I get attempted role-blocked. Well, in reality, 9 got attempted role-blocked, but I was immune. Here, actually, 9 died. They were bodyguard. They got killed by an arsonist, but they also killed the Godfather, which is really great. We've killed so many of the evils at this point. We're pretty guaranteed the win. I decide to push 5, because 5 is another person who seems like they should be on the list of suspected evils. 5 says, doesn't matter, sheriff is confirmed, which is really funny because I wasn't even sheriff. 10 says, 7, you visited yourself. I whisper them, shh, because I don't want to be outed as a transporter yet, because I think this is really funny. Must be glitched, I say. So, obviously, 5 goes up, because, I'm confirmed sheriff at this point. And so 10, Giles Corey, asks if I'm cheating. I say no, obviously, because I'm not cheating. I don't know that there is a way to cheat in this game, at least not in this manner. And then I say, imagine an entire mafia team dying to a non-sheriff, because, I've killed every single mafia. I found all of the possible suspicious mafia as sheriff nights 1 through 3, which is just really funny. Anyways, now we're just on an arsonist hunt. Neutral evil still alive, but mostly we're just looking for the arsonist. And I decide to transport myself with 15. I actually changed my mind midway through the night and switched to transporting myself with 10. And the reason I do that is 10 likely is already doused, and I would expect that the arsonist is going to attempt to douse me tonight. So if I transport myself with 10, I'm probably not getting doused, and I'm probably just re-dousing the same person, which is always good for the town. So I say 6 is neutral evil, X, which was completely incorrect and really weird for me to do, but whatever, it didn't really matter. 6 asks how I visited 7, because I am 7. And we go through a day where not a ton of information is found. I ask 10 for your lookout will day 1, because 10 has important information in their lookout will from day 1. They were on the jailer, and they saw the visits on the jailer, one of which has to be Arso. Admittedly, 10 has a and more, but, we're still narrowing down to likely Arso people. So I ask 10 for that, and 10 eventually posts their full will. Everyone's pushing 1 for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Actually, I do know why. 1 is being pushed here because 1 seems like evil because they have the wrong invest will. They checked the bodyguard and claimed they were S/trans/consort, which is accurate, but only I know it's accurate because I was transporting myself with the bodyguard. So they actually checked me and are real, but town doesn't know that. Anyways, we go through the entire day, no one even gets voted, and I'm really, really scared that we just lost the game. Actually, I decided to transport 10 with 1, because again, I'm thinking, Arsonist isn't going to go for me, they tried to go for me last night, they're going to go for 10, not 10, but someone else, and I just decide 1 here, because I think Arsonist probably knows who neutral evil is. Turns out, Arsonist doesn't even go for anyone, they just ignite. And the only person who was actually doused was 10. I don't know if I'm responsible for that, but I think so, and that's honestly really funny. 6 says Night 5, 10 visited by 3 and 7, and for some reason I don't clock yet that this just means that 14 has to be the Arsonist, basically. Not for 100% guaranteed, but almost definitely. So I say, okay town, we have 2 possible Arsonists, 3 and 14, we vote 14 today, and 3 tomorrow, because I really do think that 14 is more likely Arsonist. I should have realized that 3 just can't be Arsonist. 6 points that out, says 3 isn't Arso, so we just all go for 14. 14 goes up, obviously. Again, this is pretty obvious Arsonist. And, of course, we all guilty, and that was the end of the game. Anyways, this is the funniest bit. Dead chat's like, report 7, etc. I did actually get a report on this game, and I looked through the dead chat the entire time. They were like, we need to report 7, 7's obviously cheating. From like night 3, 4 onward. I just find that really funny. Genuinely. This whole strategy of if you get a confirmed town roll, pushing someone, and if they seem like they're innoing them, and if they seem like they're guilty, guiltying them, is really viable and does tend to out-mafia. Even if you accidentally guilty a town, the people who are eager to guilty with you are likely mafia. It's a genuinely good strategy, and I think it needs to see more play. Obviously, people who don't really know what they're doing, I wouldn't recommend trying this out, but would like to see it get maybe a little more viability in actual ranked play.